It's the SawCast, where real people speak that real shit on real topics every day. And I go by the name of
And I'm
Stevo.
Ariel. What it do, y'all? Today we'll be talking about moving. So I've moved a few times throughout my 20s, really a lot of times throughout my 20s, but um, a lot of my moves lately have been kind of far. So we wanted to talk about that, and me and Steven actually made a big move as well together. So we wanted
Yeah,
to talk about that so that people can understand and get like information on how to move, like how if you thinking about moving, like how does that affect your family, like how does that affect your back, how you find a job, how you get friends, um, should you
should you
like
move?
should you move, like
When's a
what's the
good time to move?
yeah.
And I feel like this is very important because a lot of people think about moving,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't never hear people's stories on moving. Right?
Facts.
That's kind of like a taboo thing now. Like people be like, "Oh yeah, moving," and they be like, "Well, I don't know." And if you unsure, you could just listen to somebody who experienced that you think similar to you, and then you can go from there and then kind of base your decision and have at least more information.
Sure. Okay. So the first question, of course, is why did you move? So I'll let Steven go first. You can go first. Why did you move,
Why did I
Steven?
move? See, for me, I always kind of played everything to the safely, right? So it was a way for me to challenge myself. And so taking on new challenges, I kind of felt like that was like my number one thing for moving is to challenge myself and stop playing everything so safe because um, with great risk, there's great reward. So taking that leap of faith and actually believing to achieve. So that was my number one, I would say. And then shit, another one, just because I was young, what I'm saying, no kids. The city was kind of like getting trash. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wasn't no one going on. It was real slow motion. I mean, we from Naptown, Sleepy Town. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was real chill, real sleepy, and we kind of got to a point to where like we were around a lot of limited thinkers, right? Because back in the city, like a lot of people's minds are limited. So, the growth part and growth aspect for me was kind of very important in the move. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like my main reasons for moving. Like,
Yeah.
so what would you say? Like,
Yeah, of course. My top reason for moving was money. Like, so the first time I moved, it was for a job. I had did an internship, and then it was like they wanted me to be a manager, and they wanted me to be a manager at their location, in a different location, and I was like, I'm gone. Like, so it was for money the first time, and then I moved back home, and then the second time I moved was like Steven said, it was because I was around limited thinking. I feel like I had peaked in the city, like in Indianapolis. Like, as far as IT is concerned, I feel like you peak if you can't make that much money in IT in Indianapolis if you are being in the type of role that I am. Um, so, and it's not really a lot of like specialist roles like that there. It's kind of like more plain blanket stuff. And so it was like I peaked. I feel like money wise, I peaked professionally, and then like I said, the thinking was peaked. Like you couldn't, and it's hard to like change the thinking of the people that you grew up with because they think they know you and they like this is what we're supposed to do, and then sometimes, when when you're younger, when you grew up and you was the youngest and whatever in your family, the respect level sometimes is not there a lot because just because of how y'all grew up. But it's like I got more knowledge, I'm more knowledgeable, I'm smarter, I can help you with certain things. But because um my surroundings and stuff is limited, then they don't see the potential of how far I can go. So then the respect is not going to come from that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like once I moved, and I was able to blossom, I can show them actually what this thinking, with this money, what limitless thinking, limitless money can do for you, and they can actually see it now. There, they like, okay, you got a nice place or whatever, but it's like I can get that too. You know what I'm saying? But where I'm at now, that's something that they can't really, touch because in Indianapolis is that's it. You know what I'm saying? We was living in the nicest neighborhood
It was
in
just suburbs.
Indianapolis.
We're definitely in the top
And
suburb.
yeah,
Sure.
it's really one of the top suburbs in the United
States.
States. But
check the stats, baby.
so at the end of the day, like it was like where do we go from here? And so I think that it helped us with thinking, it helped money, everything. But yeah, so it was money and then the thinking and yeah, that's why we moved, Stevo.
Yeah, and I mean, and just to touch on what you said, because you was saying like people who they know you to be, right?
Yeah.
They do a lot of times try to put you in that box of who they know you to be opposed to who you've grown to be.
Yep.
Right? So I think that that's a word of advice there is people change, right? So respect the person for who they are, right, instead of who they used to be. So that kind of ties into why it's so stressful.
Yeah, for
moving
sure.
too.
Yeah.
Because like people still see you as that, and you're trying to change behaviors, and you're trying to change, and they just want you to be the same. Because with that limited thinking that they have, and with that in the box as hamster wheel, as every day as activity that they doing, they can't fathom that you want more. But you got everything to them.
To them, that is everything. Like what we had was like, and it's like this is not no.
But they can't understand it because they don't give themselves to the time to think more, to think greater.
That and a lot of people in our city that we grew up with and stuff wasn't really traveling like that, so they wasn't seeing more.
Yeah,
like I had moved, and so I had been around like my friend who was living in this like mansion, and you know what I'm saying, and let me and my family stay in it for free, and to the point where my dad was like uncomfortable while we was there. But it's like because he doesn't see that type of stuff all the time, and so like thinking that, you know, what I had was the most, or I'm telling my mom how much I made when I was in Indianapolis, she like, oh my God, that's crazy. Right. And then I'm like, I don't want to work here no more, and she's like, why would you not, like,
that doesn't make any sense.
stick to it. And it's like she's just a product of what she's seeing and stuff like that. Her
environment, for
and
sure.
So it was too limited, and I had to break free from that. And like I said, and then Steven was saying too, like it was just some negative things that was going on around us, and I just felt like it was gonna take me into a real negative place if I acted up on some things. So I had to get up out of there. So yeah, we Gucci. But like you said, the stressful part, it is like dealing with your family is the stressful part. Of course, moving your stuff is stressful. Finding a place is stressful. I would say we were definitely privileged to where we had some money to go and look at come to Dallas and see it before we moved and got a feel for it. And then of course we had like a community here already of friends and stuff like that, so that's really good. I know a lot of people don't get to do that, but if you have the ability before you move somewhere, go ahead and go see it, go chill, go vibe in it, watch some TikToks on it, watch some YouTubes on it, and see if you like it. And then if you got a friend, that's even better. But I've definitely moved to a city by myself before and was completely fine, had a good time. But like I said, if you should definitely try to. And I moved there and I didn't even go see it first. But I feel like it was a better experience when I did get to see it first.
I like that city though. I like
that
city, my boy.
Yeah, so it was a better experience when I got to see it first versus just going there and boom, this is what it is. So I will say that. But the stressful part is definitely leaving your family, friends, and stuff like that.
Because the you left me, that make it stressful too.
You going into that, yeah.
The you left me.
Leaving your family, friends, moving all your stuff, trying to find out where all that's gonna go.
Bro, it's time consuming.
It's time consuming, yeah. What you mean when you say time consuming?
When I say time consuming, because now you have to pack up all your stuff. Mm-hmm. And now you got to think about, how do I want to move this stuff? Because you got to have a plan. Like, am I going to move it this way? Am I going to downsize?
You have to downsize.
Do I need all of this stuff? You know what I'm saying? And where I'm going to put it if I do leave something behind. Mm-hmm. When I move, what do I need at the place that I move to? Where am I moving? What's a decent place to move? what's the cost of living at where I'm finna
Yeah.
go? Like,
I think
do I
ours
have a job
doubled.
secured already when I go?
Our cost of living doubled when we moved
And
to
do
Dallas.
I and can I afford to move? Because honestly, I feel like that make it stressful too. Is the finances, right?
Oh
So,
my God, yeah.
I say this, like, I definitely appreciate the fact that I have my sister that I can lean on as a resource, and like that I could help out with. I mean, she helped me out, you know what I'm saying? Because when I first got here, like, yeah, I had my 3 months saved up, but that 3 months go fast.
Quick.
And that shit was going quick. A motherfucker had
We
the
was-
DoorDash and
hey,
Uber
we
Eats,
were-
goddamn it, in
yeah.
this bitch. You feel me? To
We
make
was-
it a
we was
little bit.
literally thugging
And
the first
hey, oh my mama, we definitely thug that first week. But that was crazy though, because they yeah, that made it stressful too. Yeah, when
But,
shit
okay.
don't go right,
Yeah.
don't go right,
So-
bro. Like, it's crazy.
So how I
man.
forgot? Okay, so how did we tell our parents, our family, that we was moving? I feel like we didn't tell nobody we was moving.
We dipped on their
We
ass.
did. We just left. Our parents knew
Well,
we
told
was
our
moving
parents. But we told
because
them
they
last
was
minute.
Yeah, we did, because they was helping us. But I had told Steven maybe like 2-3 months before I was ready to move. I was like, I'm finna get the fuck out of here, bro, because it was like too much going on, and I was like, I'm finna slip. And he was on the same stuff, because it was the situations that was affecting me was affecting you as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm about to get up out of here. I can't stay here no more. Like, it's not good. And then Steven was like, shit, you ain't leaving me this time.
Nah, for real. I
And
told her
so
that.
we was like, okay, we're gonna go to Dallas and see what's going on with it. Let's see what's up with it. So we went to Dallas and we saw it. And then, but yeah, as far as the family's concerned, we never told them at all.
And
We
that's
told our mom and dad, that was it. And like Steven said, we told them
Yeah.
last minute because we already knew the reaction they was gonna have.
Yeah, and I
Which
think
was
that
crazy.
that
They wasn't going.
yeah, for sure. Because it was like because they can't fathom that, right? And everybody thinks everything. We're in a city where we from a city where everybody thinks everything is going to stay the same because it stays the same a lot,
All the
right?
time, yeah.
A lot of people do things, a lot of routine in the city that we from. So that's what they used to. They used to routine. They used to everything staying the same. That's why they staying the same. Because a lot of people don't challenge themselves. Because when you change, that's where challenge is, right? And when you change and challenge yourself, then that's where growth is as well. So a lot of people don't challenge themselves in our city, so they don't grow because they don't like to change habits, right? So they don't like change. Change is uncomfortable for them. But to be successful, you have to get comfortable with challenge and change, because if not, then you're going to stay the same. And so that's what a lot of people in our city do. So they can't understand and they can't fathom when you got bigger dreams opposed to just the routine and monotonous things that they do. So I don't blame them for that, but I feel like sometimes they got to expand their mindset and be like, okay, I respect you for wanting to do better and greater.
Right. And so the result of us not telling our people that we were moving definitely caused some strains in those relationships.
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them.
But yeah,
A lot
like
of
our
them.
friends get us, so they was kind of like understanding and stuff like that. But
The real
it
friends.
definitely showed us that we were very important in. Well, me, I'll say me. I don't know about Steven, but it showed how important I was in some of my friends' life that I didn't even know, because we was hanging out like a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot. I was seeing them a lot, and then I didn't see them no more. But I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't think it was that deep. But when I left, I was like, they was like, oh no, you was a part of my life like a lot, and I was like, damn, I felt bad about that. But our family, like some of our family, like our close family, our cousins, really, that was a really strain on relationship. I didn't think we was gonna have issues with our cousins having problems with us moving.
We didn't even think about it, though.
Yeah, we didn't.
We really didn't even think about it.
We didn't. We was like,
We didn't think about that.
because I'm like, if we moving forward, because I just assumed our cousin was gonna come and see us.
Support.
Because one time I
Supportive.
moved, the first time I moved, our cousins did come see me. So I was like, I thought that they were gonna come see me and they weren't gonna be tripping.
Who was the key factor in that, though?
With you?
Yeah, I was.
Well, I think that
driving
they
down there.
had a base of Steven there, still in the city. But I took.
No, I'm saying
I took
because I was
Steven.
because I was driving there. You know,
I know, but I'm saying the reason why they probably felt some type of way this time is because we both left. versus one
Well, that's
left.
the family aspect, yeah.
Yeah, that's
For the
what I'm
family
saying.
aspect,
Yeah. So why they feel some type of way? Because we both left. So they probably was like, "What the fuck?" They was like, "What the fuck?"
No, they
y'all
definitely
both left.
Yeah, nah, they
Y'all
definitely
left us for real.
But I would
and
say,
I was like,
because you
left
said
y'all.
the friends, because you said the friends thing.
Well, it's
For
their
me,
relationships. So I'm talking about cousins, friends, all that.
No, but you said for you, friends as well. For me, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the friends. It was just the family aspect.
Okay.
Because when you were saying the impact, I didn't realize how much of an impact I had on. I always knew the impact that I had on friends. That was obvious for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the family part, I didn't realize how impactful our presence was to our family members, and how influential we were to people and being around people in the environments that we cultivated, being around those
we definitely
individuals, because like without us there, it's like it's not as much unification in certain areas.
It's not as much
because I didn't realize, like you said, I didn't realize, and
we was bringing a lot of doing stuff.
Yeah, we had a lot of social events,
to bring
bro. Then we would
together.
go, and then remember, for some people's birthdays, we would.
I think it was just natural because me and
birthday.
Steven is like, when we were younger, it was Steve. We're like close in age, but Steven's younger than me. So like, the majority of the boys are younger than me, and then the girls are older. Oh, well, okay. My age, okay.
Yeah,
I would say the girls are my age older, and then the boys are Steven age and younger.
Yeah.
So like,
so it's perfect.
When people came, we used to get all our cousins used to be able to come over because they had somebody there for them, and then we were so close in age that we still mixed and mingle with each other.
Still hang out.
So like, when we did have something, everybody did show up.
They did.
But like now, and then like, I feel like the parties that we did and the events that we put on, we didn't ask nobody to. We never asked anybody to put in no money.
Nope.
We don't ask for money.
We
get fed.
You
like
get lit.
When I say we have barbecue, we got ribs. We got hamburgers, hot dogs, macaroni and cheese, greens. Like, my mama's making macaroni is so good, and my dad's barbecuing, or my uncle is like.
Slappers.
So like, it was really like a family type thing, and it's like they don't do that anymore. And then my friends used to come over and be able to experience that, and they really liked that too.
Yeah.
They really was like, "Oh, y'all ain't gonna have y'all's annual New Year's Eve event." And I'm like, "Damn!"
Hey,
I didn't really
she started that New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I did. I never really
and that
thought
motherfucker slapped every year.
They loved
that
every
motherfucker
year.
slapped
Everybody
every
came
year.
every year.
Hey.
I didn't think it was that.
And then when we started collaborating
with
the New Year's Eve, that bitch started going dumb.
Yeah.
We had like 3-4 years. That bitch was stupid.
Yeah, I think we didn't consider that. It was just we was trying to put ourselves. That's another thing too. One thing we was doing in that when we was living there a lot was putting everybody above us. We didn't really notice that until we moved. Like, we was putting everybody in what they wanted above us.
Prioritizing them.
Even sometimes if we had an event, we might have our last 200, but we gonna make sure it's everybody straight. You know what I'm saying? To the point where one time I had hella like blunts and stuff like that, and I was passing them out, and I'm like, I gave my own out to everybody, but like, that's the type motherfuckers not doing that.
Handouts, nah, motherfuckers ain't giving handouts.
So,
see, it was a genuine love.
We didn't know.
It was a genuine love that we had, but it was just off the strength. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that like, now hanging around different folks, we do see that is rare.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That is rare because we was the one.
To their parties and stuff, which is crazy.
All right. See.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going too far.
Stop it. But
I'm gonna cut it out. Okay.
Stop it. But
I just was never used to nothing like that before.
Right, but true. But then again, because a lot of stuff we was throwing.
Facts.
So like,
and we never really did like pitchings or nothing. Like, I never was like, "Hey, everybody send me 20."
And if we went to somebody's stuff,
I don't care.
Like,
y'all don't gotta send me nothing. When y'all come to my house for an event, y'all don't have to give me shit. Like,
that's
when they be like,
what we was on.
You like, my friends and my family, like, I do want to contribute something. We'll just like bring a bottle, like,
right.
But it's like,
bring a bottle, bring some water, bring a chaser,
because we're gonna have what you want to drink and what I want to drink anyway.
Right, and we're gonna have some food for you as well.
So it's just different.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sure.
But living away from our parents. Okay, so we do live far away from our parents. I think the effect of that is, I don't know. I just thought that when we moved, because we was in a better financial position than when we had first moved. When I had first moved, that I was gonna be able to bring my parents, and that was gonna be easier. But we still are a far distance away, and our parents are like really old school Black parents where they don't really be traveling like that. So it was kind of like a little push, little pull to get my dad here at first to get on the flight. But once he did, he good now.
Right. He been here. He been here again.
And then my mom, like, she got a lot going on in her life that we didn't consider before we moved, because it wasn't a lot going on in her life before that, because we was handling a lot of what's going on. But now that we not there, she has to handle it on her own. So she can't come as much as I thought she was gonna be able to come. Right. So it is kind of it kind of affects our relationship, where it's not we try to talk, but sometimes we don't get to. And then like the time difference, sometimes when she gets off, it's later, you know what I'm saying? And it's earlier here. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just it's sticky. What you think, Steve? What you think? How does it affect your relationship with our parents? I don't know.
With the relationship with the parents, man, it's like you got to change the way that it's more intentional. Right, because it's just it's nothing when they down the street, a little skirt, you know. I could go hang out with pops. We
didn't live that far from our parents, so we would just go lunch and stuff with our parents.
Yeah, right. And then on the weekend we could go eat with either one of them. Go hang out at the crib. I could go have a beer with pops, and we could watch the game for 3-4 hours, shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, damn, like now I gotta make sure I call him right, like you said, like right after he get off, and then what if he on call? Then he might be busy, and he might have to call me back another day. And then on the weekends, I'm not just not doing nothing. Like, you know, my weekends be busy, so sometimes on the weekends I'm doing stuff. So now he got to catch me when I'm available, and I got to catch him when he available. So it's just being more intentional with the relationships, and it did cause a strain at first, because like we were saying, they said that they felt that you left us, and so they felt like, oh, you abandoned me. And I was like, damn, it kind of made me feel bad, because it was like, damn, you making me feel bad for wanting to grow. I was like, fuck, that's damn near crazy. But then it's like, I love my parents and I love my family and everything too. So it was kind of hard at first, but and it's still hard, because now I'm trying to build wealth, and then in this current economy, like, you have to save and you have to invest, and then it's like trying to balance saving, investing, but then also visiting the crib. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like they see that you moved, and they know that you know that we got more money now. So now they like, well, shit, you should be able to fly in anytime. And it's like, it don't quite work like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because if I spend all my money, I ain't gonna have none.
Facts. And it's like, They do. A lot of times our family do be thinking we should just fly out in there and just be with them. But like the end of the day, we left, so we don't really want to be there. That's one thing. So, like, I don't know. We just it's sticky. It's sticky for sure.
No, it's definitely sticky, and it's like, I mean, it's a growing pain. I would say it's a growing pain. It's something that we kind of like have to get through. And I think like over time it'll get better, but it has to be more intentional.
Yeah,
everything has to be more intentional.
Stop the motherfucking podcast. Go get some motherfucking merch, niggas.
Where to go get the merch at? You know, that's the common question. SawCast.com/shop.
All right, now back to the motherfucking show.
Ooh. So when we came out here, the job situation, bro.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah, because you didn't have one before, did you? What happened with that?
So with mine, bro, like, I kind of like LinkedIn, look for jobs, put in some applications.
Did you have one before we came? I don't think you did you?
Well, I had the interview, and then they accepted me, but the process was so like long, bro.
Yeah,
remember they like, I thought I didn't.
You
have
started
it,
later,
bro. I thought I didn't have it, but now being in the organization, I see that like. Because we have like audits and things of that nature, and when that time gets busy, a lot of people like kind of drag their feet on things that are less important and things of that nature. So they had hired me, and then it took like a month for me to go through even the background and all of that stuff. And I'm like, damn, that's when that's when the money was starting to get slow and low. And that motherfucker had a DoorDash and Uber Eats in his bitch. And I'm like, hey, where the hot zone at? But by the grace of God, like I started at the right time. And like I said, you know, leaning on you for a little bit of that support when we in that moment, that was great too. So that's kind of how I had to do it with the job situation.
Well, yeah, I already had a job. I've been remote for, I mean, it was hybrid at the beginning of my career, but like I've been always remote. Everybody always, and I like with my job, they always let me work from home. So like I could work from wherever I was at. So my job was pretty easy to go ahead and transition. I could go anywhere. Hey, I could work Miami. You know what I'm saying? So that was easy. So I would say
she's working from home.
You know what I'm saying? I would say if you do move, I would definitely suggest that you try to have a job before you move in, or it's gonna be a little bit more stressful. But like in our case, it was okay for me to move suddenly like I did because I knew I had income coming in and it was remote, and I had two at the time too as well. So also, I made sure that I was good.
So yeah, and then like securing the job before you get there is a part of making moving more efficient. Yeah. Right. But another way that I would say making moving more efficient is leaning on the resources that you have. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, for y'all that don't know me, I like to stick to the budget. And until I get that millionaire status, I'm acting broke. You feel me? Because if I got a motherfucker that I know that can move some shit, we finna move this shit. We finna get this shit up out of here. And then I also have experience moving. I done pack-ins and pack-outs before where we pack out a whole house because it might have fire damage or water damage. So I've done that in the past before. So to me, it's like, it's second nature. It's like, shit, let's get this shit. Let's wrap it up. Let's box it up. Let's get it up out of here. Let's get it in here. So I think utilizing your resources and then like leaning on the people who support you, right? Like your family and your friends. Like Pops came in there, he helped us with the last little bit of stuff, wrapped it up, cleaned it up, got that shit spick and span.
We just put everything we could in our cars and we just left, and everything else was just in our apartment. And I was like, Dad, just please just get rid of it.
Handle it, Pops.
And I came back to visit and half the shit was in his house.
Facts. He was in there. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Pops got happy. He went shopping. He said, "Oh, y'all leaving this shit?" And then, hey, me and my dad wear the same size shoes, and he loved the fact that I left shoes.
So many calls of him just saying like, "I can't believe you leaving this." I'm just like, just take it. I don't want to hear. I don't want to remember the shit that I left. He like, I can ship it. I'm like, for what, $100?
Bruh, don't ship that
That's
shit.
how much it costs. Right. What the fuck? Just keep it. So. Like Steven said, you gotta utilize your resource. But like, if you trying to move somewhere, you need to get a job. Try to find one before, or you know what I'm saying, like me, try to find something remote if you can't. And if you know somebody down there, you know what I'm saying, you also get safe, you know, and then work off of that. But you know, before you move, you gotta have a job before you get an apartment. So.
And then I think the best time to move is now. Right, whenever you think about it, that's the best time. Because because what they say, success loves speed. I've been hearing that. And
I mean, I would say now, but like
because you might change your mind.
Yeah, I would say as soon as you want to, but also I would say summer, fall. Because that bitch make it easier.
The season
we
is
talk about
fall.
Time.
The season is fall. Yeah, season is
try to do
fall.
it. Try to do it.
When
summer,
you think
fall,
about it,
fall, because that's when the apartments is gonna be cheaper. But like
cheaper rates, not as many people.
It ain't gonna be raining and all that stuff. You ain't gotta deal with all that, which we ain't have to deal with none of that.
Blessings. Well, hold on.
What?
We did go through the thunder and rain.
Was that when we moved the second time?
Nah, when we moved here, bro, and we was in the car. Okay, you don't remember when you was asking me and you called me on the phone? Hey, bro,
that's
is my tire flat? Your tire was flat, and we was driving through states, and we was driving through a storm. Okay, and then you had to take a break. This motherfucker, I was trying to get here and let's go, and I need to take a break. I'm like, take a break. Sleep.
When I tell y'all this man wanted to drive from Indianapolis to Dallas, Texas in one whole just which we did, but I had to
We
park.
didn't because we had to change your tire.
True. But I had to take a nap. But I had to take like a 2-hour nap at the gas station. Please.
No. It was at a rest stop. It was at one of the rest stops.
No, I took a nap at the gas station.
No, it was the rest stop, bro. Because it's those rest stops that they be having.
Yeah, but I thought that was wasn't a different trip. You talk about.
You talking about we was just traveling. When you talking about you took a nap because this motherfucker, the first place you stayed when we was coming back, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so sleepy, act like she swerving. I'm like, get the fuck out the car.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was when we did a road trip, and then that was when we did a road trip, and I was just like, I did not want to drive, and I was like, Steven, I'm about to just pass out. I can't. I was like, my eyes is crossing. He was like, get your ass out the car. He had already drove majority of the time, and I just did not feel like doing it.
But you know, I was like, it's cool. I was like, it's cool. I was like, I ain't go.
I didn't go to sleep though.
No, she was knocked out for the last, what was that, like 4 hours, 3 hours of the drive. You was knocked out. So I was like, sis got some rest. So it's all to the good. So
yeah,
I wasn't tripping for real.
But okay, as far as friends is concerned, the first time I moved, I didn't know anybody. So my first friend was from work, and I didn't even think we was gonna be friends. I saw her and I was like, I thought she was like a rock star type of girl, like white girl, and well, not white girl, but like when I say white, I be like Indian, Asian, and white. That's all white to me. But she's Indian, but I thought she was like a rock star. She's definitely not that.
Nah,
like
she's not
that. And we're just like really close. So that was my dog. And then Steven had came down. He was friends with a girl, and then from the city, and she was actually my age, and she became my friend. So I ended up having only two friends really in Charlotte, but they was like two opposite type of friends. Bro, like totally it was like a super rich friend, and then I had a
little more spontaneous, a little more ratchet,
ratchet friend, and so it was like really fun. I only needed them too, so that was how I met them. So yeah, you can move without having no friends. But Dallas, we already had friends. Like they had already been established and stuff. So it made it easier for us to just come in here and transition in. And they was like really good with letting us meet their friends, and like really their friends were really accepting of us and stuff like that. So it made it a little bit easier.
Yeah. For
so
me,
like either if you don't have friends, you can be straight. I would say I moved again too. And I didn't have no friends again. True. And I went to a lot of networking events. I did a lot of things that I like to do. Found a lot of things that I like to do. So like, I like tech. So I'm in tech. So I went to a tech event, or I went to a black tech event, and then I found friends there. Like that's where I found one of my closest friends, in one of the cities that I moved to that I didn't know. I had nobody. I didn't have no friends. As she was at a black tech event. And she's not even in tech. So like. Yeah, and she's from the Midwest, which is crazy. And then I found like a group of like 3 girls. We just randomly started talking to each other at another tech event I went to. So you know, I would say go to like networking events and just events in general that you like by yourself. And like I just went to an event. It was like Desi's comedy show. And I was by myself in the city that I had moved to, and it was like some girls in the line, and they start walking away, but one of their friends had stayed, and I was like, I'm your friend now. And she was like, shit, we friends now, so we all cool now. You know what I'm saying? So if you just go somewhere, be friendly, be cool, then you can probably find, you know, some friends.
So for me, it was sort of kind of tied
Your
in.
friend is the reason why
Who?
we consider Dallas, ain't it?
Nah.
Did you say?
It wasn't a friend.
Oh.
It was a relationship.
Oh.
The reason why we considered Dallas.
I thought you said somebody told you.
A relationship.
Oh, I ain't
a previous relationship.
I thought it was a friend,
She did. She acted crazy. Friend on the top of her brain. But for me, I was kind of a little something more tied in like a shoestring. You know, for y'all who don't know, you know, I'm part of the world's greatest fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. You know, I'm the ace dog, you know, first half of Two Savages, the Unshakable Q. So for me, the fraternity aspect, I had 2 chapter brothers that lived here, so it was kind of easy, and they a bit more known in the city. And then with anybody know fraternities, like all you gotta do is go hang out. You feel me? You go hang out, you go socialize, or you can be somewhere and they like, what's up, dog? Hey, what's happening with you? Boom. You got a friend, you know what I'm saying? Or they can link you up with some other bros, and then y'all could become friends, right? And then we also had friends here already, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't even realize how many friends that we already had here.
Yeah, me either.
That we knew from the city.
I know it was so many, like.
Bro. And then, you know, me, I'm a yapper. I'm a socializer. Clearly, I'm a podcaster, so so I'm a yapper for sure. So like hooping and stuff like that. Like you said,
Oh yeah.
hobbies and
Things you
stuff.
like to do,
I
yeah.
ain't really make no friends off of like the tech events and stuff, but I followed a few people and socialized with a few people from there. And like when I see them, like we be like, hey, how you doing? And we follow each other on social media and keep up with each other that way. But like hooping and things of that nature, and that's kind of how I like
Oh yeah, you got like the
keep up.
men's walk thing too.
Yeah, the men's walk now. Yeah, the men's walk that I go to. And like I said, the fraternity as well, and then other friends. I always become friends with other people off of other friends as well because I find the people in that group that I'm most like, and then we socialize and network that way too.
Right. When I went to DC, I was talking to some girls and I was like, "How y'all find friends in DC?" Because they wasn't from DC, and they was like, well, everybody at this party is in this running club. And so, like, they all, like, real close friends because of that running club. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, whatever, like, activity that you like to do, I would say try to find that and, like, do that. And then you gonna make friends if you, like, cool. Like, and then if you, like, real nervous and stuff like that, take a shot or something before.
I take a shot.
Hey,
Take a
for
couple
real,
of
for real.
breaths.
Because, I met
Take a
another
couple
one of my
breaths.
friends. It was like a yoga. It was a like black girl yoga, and then we walked to
You
a
did
farmer's
say you
market.
you did say you meet her.
And I met my other friend
did
there, and
say
she's
you
from
met her.
Texas.
She
So
was. That was crazy.
I'm
That
saying
was
I went to all these events by myself.
So
And I think when you go by yourself, that makes you like people more susceptible to you because it's like when you with somebody else, sometimes they judge you as a group, and then but they only get to
Facts.
judge you
Okay.
as yourself when you're by yourself, and they're like, and you're more. They're like you're more open. I feel like sometimes too when you're by yourself because you don't have
Okay.
you don't have your anchor with you. Like, oh, I got my friend just in case nobody talks to me. Like, nah, I had to talk to people.
True.
So,
So I guess that's advice then.
Yeah,
That's a part of the advice is be social, right? Because you can't expect to be somewhere and make friends off of just being somewhere.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So finding your tribe, finding what you
Do
into.
what you like to. What do you
Do
like
what you
to
like
do?
to do, right.
And then go to an
Go to an
event
event that you
for
like to
people
do.
that like to do
They
that
like
type
to
of
do
thing.
what you like to do for sure.
And
So
you'll
that's
find
definitely definitely great advice.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Or like if your cousins or your friends or something like that know people in that city,
Link up with them.
invite your cousins to the city and all hang out. Then you got some friends then too.
Facts, and then
It's
just
lit.
join like different groups and just get curious. Shit, if what's going on over here, what's going on over there? Okay, like you said, like what are you into or what do you want to be into, and then go find people that's doing that already, or find events that have people that's doing that. Then socialize and network and follow up. I
Yeah.
will say that's one thing that I'm getting better at is the follow up because I already have so many people that I connect with that the follow up has to be more it has to be more immediate.
Yeah,
That's
if you need like advice on following up, I would say find another event y'all met at a certain type of event. So like if it's another type of event that's similar to that, then be like, hey, I might go to an event, you free, and then if they free, go. If not, meet some new people there. Like
Right, or just hit them on a social tip. Hey, you trying to go have a if they drink, go have a drink.
I'll
or
be
something like
too
that.
nervous to do stuff like that, but yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like because I'm like,
But my friends
yeah,
did that though.
that's what I'm
The
saying.
other ones that I had met at the other tech event, it was
Yeah.
like, let's go for drinks. We always go
yeah,
to- we
something
had
like
it by
that.
ourselves.
Just social. Just go to
Yeah.
something social to where y'all can
For sure.
have a conversation.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely. That's a
saying?
good idea.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, so we was talking about some tips. So like
Yeah,
some
tips.
tips with moving that far. Okay, so we moved a couple times. We moved.
Well, you moved a
Well,
couple
I
times. I only
moved.
moved once.
I-
Twice, I guess,
so I
if you want to
moved
count
with-
college.
Well, I moved. I
You
was so
moved
many times,
one-
but I'll say 3 big times.
Well, 3 bit, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll say,
The trifecta.
and they was always
three
like
different cities.
over 500 miles from Indianapolis.
For sure.
So I would say some tips I'll say is if you got to get rid of
Get
that
rid of
shit.
some shit.
Like you cannot be attached to stuff if you want to move that far. So like I would say the first 2 times we just put everything in our car and then left. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say definitely detach from your stuff. And then the third time I got like a U-Haul, like U-Haul got a pod. I feel like that's the cheapest one. And then put as much stuff as I could in there. Really all the stuff that I really cared about in there, the big stuff, which was cost me way more money to repurchase, put that in there, and then ship it, and then versus driving. I'm not driving cross country. To me, that's not cheaper because your car gonna be messed up in like a few months if it's used, if you drive it 1,000 miles versus, you know what I'm saying, versus just shipping it. You know what I'm saying? So I would save up some money to ship it versus drive it. But if you have to drive it, you gotta drive it. I would say ship it. But yeah, put everything in your car and go. If you ready to just get up out of there and then sell everything, all your stuff, and then you can rebuy stuff when you get there. Or put it in a pod and then ship it. But the U-Haul pods is the cheapest. And then U-Pack is like a little bit bigger, but it's more expensive. Pods, I don't fuck with them. They too high. And it's like, I'm not doing that. But yeah, I would suggest to do that.
So my advice would be to first off have a plan, right?
Did we have a plan?
We did.
Did we?
We did.
Our plan was just to get up in the car and go. No, we did because when we was leaving, we was still doing shit all the way.
We still had a plan, though.
We really did not sleep for like 3 days. This is the crazy part.
This
like
is why it's advice.
When me and Steven started moving,
this is why it's advice.
I don't feel like we planned the move out. That's definitely advice. We definitely didn't plan the move out.
This is advice. You give people advice not because of the lessons you learned.
We knew we had to move one day, and then we just started putting everything we wanted in the car, and then we was just stuffing our car. You telling experience. I'm telling advice. Okay? She's speaking on experience. Shit.
Advice would be to have a plan, right? Make your plan, because your third time, we had a plan. It was abrupt as well, but we still have a plan.
Yeah.
And then find a person that you can count on. You know what I'm saying? That can help you out with some stuff, because when she moved that third time, I was there for it, and I was like, "Hey, bro, look, bro, hey, it's cool, bro. I can handle this." Man. Just how our dad handled stuff when you left. When we left from our big move to here, that's the same way I was helping you out. When you moved to the other city that you had moved to, and I was like, you know what? Hey, bro, I got it. Like, cause I was so invested in her, because I was like, yeah, bro, all right, bet. I believe in you so much. I'm like, bro, it don't even matter. I'll drive down to your crib. I'll go sell that stuff for you, clean it up a little bit, and take the trash that I need to take out, and remove anything else that's unnecessary that don't need to be in there as well. So if you have somebody, you know, that you can count on, absolutely, lean on your resources. I would say plan it out. Then know what you're moving for, right? Why are you moving? Then know the city that you're moving to. Do you even like that type of city, right? Are you a social person? Are you not a social person?
Yeah, because a lot of time when I see people be saying like,
how far is that away from family? Like, does any of that matter?
I don't like the city and all that. It's because they're not social people. They thought they was, because you in Indianapolis with people that got the same thinking as you, the same values as you, the same morals as you. But when you go somewhere else, it's people with different morals, different values. So these are totally different type of people that you got to interact with and be cool with. If you're not that type of person that can be social for real, then you might not make it. You might want to move back to Indianapolis. Like, and it's like,
Facts.
It's like you like, it wasn't it like I thought it was. It's just you wasn't ready. And so overall, you know what I'm saying, I feel like the thing is, should you move? Yes. You should get out the city that you grew up in.
Get up out of there.
And you should get away from that, because a lot of times the thinking, the mindset, stuff like that, the influence of the people around you is heavy, especially when you got family members and stuff like that. So when you move, you get to understand yourself and what you actually like, and the people that you actually like to be around, the hobbies that you actually like to do, the jobs that you actually like to work. So you definitely need to move if you can. And that's the SawCast.
It's the SawCast.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank y'all for rocking like cut off stockings, man.
Like, share, subscribe. We always say like, share, subscribe, but for real. Like, share, subscribe.
We appreciate everybody that do support. If you haven't already, SawCast.com/shop. Go get a little merch. You know what I'm saying? More podcasts on the way. You know, just consistent. We in it.